All right, we're recording, man. No, dude, take us away. Take us away. This is you, man. Take us away.
What's up, everybody? My name is Troy Banks. I'm here with Jonathan Luders, the man, the myth, the legend. Met him recently in Philadelphia, and we hit it off. I'm very excited to hear about his career, his aspirations, all the above, and I'm glad you guys are here to watch. Let's get into it.
Excellent. Man, I am so pumped to be here. Troy, I think we definitely hit it off extremely well when we first met at that guest workout with the famous, amazing Savannah Bananas. We will get
Yep.
into that a little later on. But man, I just want in my research, light research, nothing too crazy, looking into you and your background and find out what an awesome baseball player you are, but also person you are. I want to give you some due diligence here. Um, Orchard Park, New York
Yep.
native,
Yep.
played at Baton Rouge Community College and Niagara County Community College in Louisiana, Baton
Yes.
Rouge, for 2 years before attending Mercyhurst University, where he played in 98 games, had a career 287 batting average with 20 bombs. Oh my goodness,
I
that
don't
is
know. I
that is crazy. I got some questions about that because I didn't have that juice in college. But then after college, Troy played as a professional baseball player for the Trenton Thunder in the MLB Draft League, played in 30 games, utility infielder. And most recently, Troy became the King's College assistant baseball coach and coordinator of program operations for player development in 2024. And we're here making this happen. So, Troy,
don't. Man,
this is
man.
awesome, man. It was so cool looking into your background because I didn't know you. Like, I mean, we met and we obviously hit it off and all that, but
Yeah.
I didn't know you in terms of your background, where you come from, like all that stuff. So it was cool to kind of do a little, I guess, research on that, and even cooler now to get to know you more in person or over Zoom, but more on a personal level here. So super psyched.
Absolutely, buddy. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course, of
I did my
course.
research on you as well. Uh, I have
Oh
a,
no.
it's pretty funny, but no, you're a great guy, man. You're a great guy,
Thank you.
and I see all the outpour of support that you're receiving in your journey right now, and that's a
Mm,
testament to who you are as a person. And I'm
thank you,
glad
brother.
to have met you. I know a baseball guy right away, and I know a good guy right away.
Oh, thank
So,
you. Likewise, brother. Likewise.
and I'll tell a story real quick, and then I'll get into you.
Please.
But so when I walked up to the banana ball tryouts, you see the bus there, and you start to see all the coaches and the owner, and that's not very typical of a regular tryout. So I didn't know anybody going
Mm,
in here, and I even after meeting everybody, I didn't know anybody prior. And baseball is a small world, but it seems as though banana ball is people gravitate from all walks of the baseball world. Doesn't matter what. We had guys that were 35 years old there, so it doesn't. There was a ton of great things, but I saw you first, and man, I never seen a smile as bright as yours. You were happy to be there, and your play and your demeanor the whole day was just on par with that. It was perfect, and I commend you for being prepared for a big event.
mm. Yeah, thank you, man. I think just the biggest thing was just leave it all out there. Like just go all out, like all in. Like there was, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit on the phone before this, like the amount of people that got the opportunity to even just be invited to a tryout was
Yeah,
relatively small. And the opportunity potentially is really unique. And
yeah,
if it's something that you want, you gotta. I was like, I'm just gonna go all in with this, man. It's a very
yeah.
unique opportunity again, as I said, and I was like, just be myself, be genuine, and we're just gonna rock with it. And
That's it. That's all
I'm
you can do.
glad, yeah, and I'm glad I'm glad you said that, you noticed that, and I really appreciate you acknowledging that because I think that goes a long way, even not off the baseball field. So thank you,
Yeah,
brother. I appreciate it.
absolutely. And all right, so we'll get into the questions. This is one thing I gotta ask you.
Sure.
There has been many guys, big leaguers, Hall of Famers, I'm sure of it, that have played in the Cape Cod League, but
Hmm.
not many have hit 1,000. How did you do it?
This is a probably the best question I've ever been asked because not only did you do like some due diligence, man, but like you recognize that. Like that's awesome. No, but like I had one at bat in the Cape Cod League, and it's a great story because growing up in Massachusetts, only like an hour and a half from Cape Cod, summering down in Chatham, the town over from Harwich, where I got to
Yep.
play, had a connection through my head coach, Coach Rob Shepard at Seton Hall, where I played, and he had a connection with the Harwich coach, Steve Engler. And he, when I got there, like Stevie, everyone called him Stevie, was the best. He was the man, and I love the energy that he brought to the team. And I was so pumped to be there because
Yeah, absolutely.
I was on a temporary contract, so I was only there for a limited amount of time. And I mean, I'm going with mindset like I'm gonna be here all summer. I'm gonna earn it. I'm gonna go and all that stuff. And this is at the time where the playoffs in college baseball could push back. So like the guys in the regionals, super regionals weren't there yet. And man, it's like we're just doing practices and having a blast and all that. And it's our first game and we're winning like 9-3. I didn't start. I sat the bench for the first like 7 innings, I think. And then the eighth inning, Stevie he goes, yo, Luders, you're gonna play third base. Or I think it was the third baseman said, hey, you're gonna play third base. And I was like, all right, sweet. So I ended up getting that bat first before the inning went out to third base. So I got the at bat, and it was really special because my grandparents were there. My grandpa who played baseball in college too, when he was younger, and then my parents were there too to see it. And since all my family was from around here, like they were all there, which I guess is maybe unique. Maybe not all of the family from players; they're all from the country.
Mhm.
And I think I had like an end of the bat change up knock like up the middle, like just like stereotypical me, like just getting knocks like I don't have the juice or anything like that, but like knock's a knock, baby. So, and it was
Did,
pretty special, like because I mean, I don't know, like that was just a really cool opportunity, and for that to work out, for being a Massachusetts kid, that was
did you
pretty
get the
cool.
ball?
No, I didn't get the ball.
Okay. All
No.
right. So yes, for those of you
And
who
then
don't know, the Cape Cod League is one of the most highly touted summer leagues in the country.
mhm.
A lot of high end D1, D2 guys that are in that league. It's really great and very funny story, very cool story. One you have for life, man. It's crazy what baseball does.
Yeah, no. And then
Crazy.
I have to finish off the story. So unfortunately some guys came back from the Super Regionals. Unfortunately got released. But I just told Stevie afterwards, and like, thank you so much for this. 'Cause, like for being a Massachusetts kid, it meant the world. So and he was like, dude, like, of course. Like it happens. We have to like release you because of the roster stuff, and we have the
Yeah,
guys coming, the big dogs coming back. But like,
yeah.
it was an absolute blast having him. Like, oh, thank you. It's meant a lot. I texted him when they won the championship this past year, and then we text them, and so that
That's
maintained that
awesome, man.
relationship pretty cool. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome for
That's a
you
great.
to
Thank you so much for that question. That was I never told that story like to anyone really. So thank you.
really.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome. I
yeah,
was like, that's a great. I saw it and I was like, that's awesome. Good for
yeah.
you. Good for you. But for one thing I want to touch on before we move
Sure.
on, for you to say thank you to your coach after
Mhm.
obviously you wanted to be there all summer
Yeah.
also shows what kind of person you are.
Well, it meant the world to me, and like
Yeah.
I think I texted him and was like, "This, it meant the world." Like it was, I grew up watching the games and stuff, and I knew how like prestigious of a league it was, and the chances are so low, and for it just to be there was pretty cool. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
good for you. Good for you,
Oh,
brother.
thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess can I go back and forth now? Can I ask
We'll
you some
go back
questions
and
now?
forth, brother.
So I was able to watch a previous podcast, part of it, not all of it, that you did with the Trenton Thunder um 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and talked a little about your story, how you were going down to Louisiana to play. So being from New York, I wanted to ask, like, what was the Louisiana culture like? Was that culture shock? Was there a different style of baseball? Like, what did you learn when you were down there? Because it's a very unique thing to go down and play down south for 2 years and then come back up here and play in the freezing cold and up in the Northeast. So I wanted to get your take on that
That's
because I'm very interested. Yeah.
that's a fantastic question. Oh man. Oh my goodness. So in high school,
Hmm.
so I'm an undersized player, and I didn't get many offers out of high school, and I my head probably wasn't where it needed to be at the time to understand what my goals even were. Now, this is also a very touching story.
Let's hear it.
So my grandfather fought the Vietnam War. his best friend from the Vietnam War is from Baton Rouge area.
Okay.
Okay, down at where BRCC is.
Okay.
When it came time to my junior year, I was a good player, but I maybe thought I was better than I was. I learned a lot of lessons through baseball, and I'm so blessed that I
Mm.
went through them all. But my mother was a school counselor at a local high school here. And while I was being a kid, my mom took it upon herself to send a bunch of emails out to junior college schools down south because I always voiced that to her. I want to go play JUCO ball down south. So, of course, she sends an email, and the first one is to BRCC, and they call me and they say, "We want to see you work out." So, thank you to my mom for igniting my baseball career, and
Love it.
like my collegiate baseball career, which is
Awesome.
it's crazy to think, that the people in your life care about you so much they would do something like that for you.
Mm.
So I go down there and it was a complete culture shock. And there's your answer.
Here we go. Yeah.
I am a Buffalo boy. I got pale skin in the winter. I go to hockey games for the Sabres. I grew up playing hockey. Like, I am not a Bayou boy. But I had family down there, which is like
Sure.
my Uncle Dempsey, his name. So he has a whole big family. They made me feel really at home going down there. The reason I went down there is because I wanted to play for LSU. That was my lifelong dream and goal. So I go down there, and it is a complete culture shock. I was like, oh, I'm not going D1, like I'm going JUCO, whatever. But that baseball was so good. We played against Jacinto and
Yeah.
LSU Eunice and all those teams where guys went on to play, and they're still in the pros.
Right.
You know. So huge culture shock. I actually only spent 1 year there. It didn't work out how I wanted it to. I found myself like maybe it was a little bit of a lack of focus, still kind of growing up at that time. My second year, I came up to Niagara County Community College by Niagara Falls, and that's when my career switched.
Mm.
I said I'm not. That was the first time I ever sat games at Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I came back up here, switched my atmosphere,
Right.
and turned on the Jets.
Mm.
And it didn't take long for a bunch of schools to call. And the school I ended up choosing was Mercyhurst D2, about an hour and a half away from my home, which was important to me.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
great question, man.
No, yeah. It's everyone's journey in baseball, especially throughout college ball, and then the way you have people in little league to then go in high school to college, like the pyramid of players that play get smaller and smaller, and the stories keep getting better and better. And to hear
I know.
everyone's story, that's why it was so cool with the workout, like to hear different guys' stories. And after
Yes.
doing just a little bit of research on you and seeing how you went down to Louisiana, back up here, and then to
Yeah.
Mercyhurst, like that was pretty cool. I mean, the
Trying to find a
people,
way. That's what we
yeah,
do.
man, absolutely. And even in the podcast, you said you want to go somewhere like where you want to play, like you got to go places where you're desired. And
Yeah.
I thought that was huge, like huge, huge, huge. And it's simple and straightforward, but I don't want to say it's overlooked, but it's probably the main point you want. Like you want to play, and you need to go a place where the coaching staff and the administration, like they want you, like you're there because then you're both bought in, and that's important.
Absolutely.
It's not easy, and sometimes you can stay to school for maybe for the wrong reasons, and I think for that's a very wise and mature decision to make. And
Yeah.
it was cool. It was cool to hear that. It was really, really
Yeah.
cool.
And I know you work with young players, as do I.
Yeah.
Uh, I guarantee you could vouch for what I'm about to say. I want my guys who are getting ready to go to college to go somewhere where they're desired and where they're going to see time.
Yeah.
Because you can go to Texas A&M and sit for 4 years, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you play, but the guys that are coming, you have to go somewhere where it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll add on a point with that. Where I went to Seton Hall my freshman year, like granted it was COVID, I would not have played like very much at all. I probably would have maybe started a handful of games, gotten in maybe 10 games, not even.
Yeah.
But for like the bigger picture, like of how it worked out, I ended up playing a lot more afterwards. And I think there was a lot of freshmen this past year who were way more talented than I was my freshman year, who didn't play a whole lot because there was a more veteran infield and outfield. And
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to stick with it at that point, especially like when you're not playing and you're
Tough.
adjusting and you're away from home and all those things. And you might just think, and especially now with the transfer portal, to jump ship, be like, hey, I want to get out of here, like whatever. But that's where I think where the buy-in from like where you're desired, and I love that word from like the coaching staff and like where the coaching staff can communicate to you, like, hey, we know you're not playing right now because we have older guys or whatever, but like we still believe in you. Like that's an important thing.
That is very important. Yeah.
And sometimes that can go overlooked because you can go into college, you just want to play right away. And sometimes it happens and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But for a lot of times it doesn't happen. And like that's also tough too. But there's so many good, as you said before, there's so many lessons in that I learned from baseball field adjusting and also from going away from home adjusting. So yeah,
Exactly.
definitely you hit it
There's
right on there,
so
the
many
head there.
things. You're
Yeah,
right. Great
yeah,
point. So many things that go into it.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
like guys in the team are gonna like whatever.
Yeah.
The depth chart. That's fantastic.
Yeah. No, man.
Um,
And
go ahead.
no, no, no.
You were gonna say
I was gonna say I want to get into some stories. Like, I mean, we could.
yeah.
I feel like this thing could be definitely 3 hours long,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I wanted to know, like, in terms of whether it's your college experience or like off the baseball field or on the baseball field or pro ball. I guess maybe the difference is college. Well, maybe we start there. You have college, you go
Yep.
play for Trenton Thunder. What are like some cool stories that you have from college ball and also pro ball that like are unique to you and that would be like kind of insightful for other people to hear?
Wow. That is a very good question, my friend.
We're just going back and forth, man. We're just going back and forth.
So I played 3 years at Mercier, so I got caught up in COVID. I
Hmm.
was going to touch on that with you.
Yeah.
You were blessed by COVID, realistically,
Get an
because
extra year. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
and it was a year you might have not got the playing time.
100%. Yeah, and I wouldn't have got that year back because I played in a few of the games.
Yeah,
So I think I played in like six of the games or whatever,
yeah.
and like
Uh,
not starting, but like I wouldn't have got that year back in the back end. That's a year of college gone, that kind
so
of
you
thing.
got blessed by COVID.
Yes, yes,
Wow, you're
yeah.
one of those
Blessing in
guys.
disguise, man.
I was too. We'll get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So, okay. I have always been a prototypical second baseman. And when I got to Mercyhurst, I played 99 games and I started in 98 of them. And I started every game at second. I didn't play anywhere
yeah.
else.
Wow, that's incredible.
My coach, I talked to him before my 5th year, which was a year where I was feeling really good about myself. And um, I asked him, like, what do you think about me at shortstop? And
Yeah.
he's you're just not going to be a college shortstop. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So whatever, went and played, had a great
Yeah.
season. That was the best season of my life, my senior year at
Yeah.
Mercyhurst. And then I get to pro ball. I had such a good season. I was very fortunate. I got to sign a pro contract. I couldn't sleep that night, and it was a dream come true.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play for Trenton in the draft league.
Right.
Cheater played there, Judge, all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get signed there, and I drive up there, and we're working out with the team, whatever. And the shortstop that was there, he started. I was second baseman, whatever.
Hmm.
And I've always wanted to play like short, and that was just my thing. Like I wanted to be a shortstop, but like all
Yeah.
the coaches were like, whatever. So it took about 3 games, and he threw me over at shortstop, and I'm standing there in front of 8,000 people in Trenton playing shortstop, and I'm like, you just got to stick to it, man.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
gotta stick to it. And I did come out. I played more professionally at shortstop than any other position.
Wow. That's something to hang your hat on right there throughout college when you're only playing second. Oh, I should say only playing second
Yeah,
base. But when you want to play short and then you go out and pro
yeah,
ball and play short, it's a whole nother
yeah.
level of shortstop. And
Absolutely.
that's awesome that you just did that. That's great.
Absolutely. And anybody watching, second base and short are hand in hand. It's
Yeah, there's
such
no disrespect to any set at all. But I
yeah.
know what you're saying. Like, I mean, shortstop, I don't want to, it's like the quarterback of the infield in some
They are the
ways. And
quarterback of the infield,
yeah.
plain and simple.
Right,
And
yeah.
so,
And so there is some desire for sure. I totally understand that to play
yes.
shortstop. So
Yeah.
that's a great I love that. That's great. Sticking with it. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Love
Yeah.
it.
So tell me, Seton Hall is a awesome program.
Mhm.
Obviously, Craig Biggio went there. Were you a fan of Craig Biggio's before you? Yep. The famous jersey that was all over the highlights from the basketball draft. Right there, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need me that exact same jersey. I want to sign it. So, two-part question: did
Yes.
you know of him because he's a similar player to you, man?
Hmm.
Seriously,
Right.
infielder, like you're bigger than me, but you're not the 6'5" guy, right?
Right. Right. Right.
And was that somebody you looked up to before you went there? And tell me about your experience at Seton Hall.
Awesome. Yeah. So to answer the first part of the question, Craig Biggio, he was someone that I looked up to just a little bit before Seton Hall. I knew who he was. I used to like watch like those like it's like on the DVD, like the record MLB
Yeah,
records thing.
yeah.
And he has the record, and I think he still does. I could be wrong now, but he has the most hit by pitches in Major League Baseball in the current live, like in the live ball era.
Wow.
And now, so I looked up him that way. 3,000 hits, Hall of Famer, like Gold Glove at I think at second base. He catcher and he played catcher too.
Yeah.
Catcher converted like to second base to outfield, so he played
Yep.
everything. And I
Yep.
loved that. And just seemed like a hardcore scrappy guy, not scrappy, but just like he just was a ball player. Played 20 years in the bigs, like the whole 9 yards. And I was like, man, that's someone like to look up to. He play. It seems like he plays the game like the right way, and like can play whatever position for the manager. Love that. So then I get to Seton Hall, and I didn't put the connection that he had played at Seton Hall. So I only like upped it a little bit, and I'm like, man, like that's pretty neat. And then that's where I got the jersey, and like that's where like I think my buddy who owns like a memorabilia shop, like he gave me a
Yeah.
Seton Hall Craig Biggio card, and it's pretty cool. And
Wow.
yeah, it is pretty neat. And because back in the day they were a powerhouse, like back in like I think it was 1989, they like won the
Really?
big championship with him, yeah, with Mo Vaughn and all those guys.
Yes.
But anyways, like there that just gave like the fact that he went to Seton Hall, he's a Hall of Famer, leads MLB in hit by pitches. Like I that was like my thing. Like I got hit by pitches like that. I would either batted first, second, area 8 or 9, typically
Anyway,
on
on baby.
any way on. So I was on the dish, like wearing all the protective stuff possible, like and
Yeah.
just trying to get hit by pitches. So I kind of resonated with that with him, I thought. And then just to build I wanted to play every position. So like I thought like that for him and that is similar. So I don't want to say I modeled the game after him, but there's definitely things that like that he did that were so admirable, and I love that. So that's the answer to part one. And then for part two, my experience at Seton Hall was phenomenal. Like in so many different ways, I'm super grateful for the experience, for all like the really good times and also like all like the learning moments I had that we kind of touched upon before. Because the freshman year of college for me was probably the hardest year out of all of them, and that wasn't even including like COVID, just like the freshman
Yeah.
fall, like adjusting to like the 6 a.m. lifts, like doing the baseball where I was no longer one of the better players. Like I'm back down at the bottom of the totem pole, and that's a humbling thing. And I'm trying to think of all the like dealing with school, not sleeping as much because of like the lifts and like different things are going on, like with practice and everything. And I was pretty drained like by
Yeah.
freshman year. I was not as prepared as I thought I was, which is a not the greatest feeling in the world, but wasn't sure if I like really
We're one and the
belonged.
same, man.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I belonged or not, to be quite honest. And I'm really glad though I stuck it through. Because all those things, like being away from home. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that. Being away from home was really
Yeah.
I couldn't rely back on home and like being in my own room and all that. Like I had to kind of be a little more independent for myself. That was super important to kind of gain that like experience
Yeah.
to be
Absolutely.
more independent on myself and to kind of figure things out. But once I kind of there was, and I gotta shout out some guys like a guy like Connor Hood, who was a guy like that was a utility infielder at Seton Hall, was a phenomenal leader, and he I thought really helped me like during that time. Another guy, Bobby Shepard, like he was a year older than me, kind of went through it similar to the way that I did, like in high school, like really liking it and coming to college and having to adjust.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there are so many guys, but those two guys I'm thinking of like right now like they helped me like adjust to school, which was super important because it was more just like me just figuring it out my freshman
Yeah.
year. And then and I give so much credit to people who are freshmen that can ball out in their freshman year because it's not easy if you're there's so much going on.
Crazy.
But then I'll cut to it. So then sophomore through senior year was awesome. I got playing more my sophomore year, and I didn't. This is a good. I'll go back to the story after, but I never played third base my entire career, and I ended up playing
Yeah.
third base my sophomore year.
Wow.
And it was only I'll get to that, whatever. It was
That's some of the
only
highest level. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
well, it was because the only way I saw it working out for me to play in the field was playing third base. Like the outfield was kind of covered. The second base and shortstop, there were two guys who were older than me. They're both really, really good that played there. And the first base was a grad student who had been there for 4 years prior. And the third baseman he went on and played professional ball afterwards, phenomenal hitter. But I was more of a defensive first baseman. He was more of an offensive third baseman. And he ended up, I'm like, all right, if he just DHs, like I could play third. That's the only way I see myself playing.
Wow.
So in all the scrimmages, or all the inter squads we did throughout that COVID kind of fall period of 2021, I just anytime I could play third base, I went and played third base
Wow.
because that was the only way I was going to see myself playing. And then at my winter meeting with the coaches, Coach Shep, he sat down with me and said, "Yeah, like keep working, like keep stick to like kind of the up the middle if you can." And I know there's some guys, some seniors behind the up the middle, but like you never know like what can happen over the course of the season.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, like that's fair. Like I'll keep working like up the middle and everything. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna keep working at third base because that's the only shot I think I have of consistently starting. So my dad and I, when we came back home, and it's freezing out in Massachusetts and also in New
Yep.
Jersey, just went down the field and like just practiced third base, like just practiced throwing across the diamond at third base, all different throwing angles. And I'm really grateful for my dad for that because like he just hit just whatever I wanted for that, he just made
Oh,
it happen.
that's a
And
freaking
then
story.
got like COVID. I quarantined for the first half or first 2 weeks of the season because the I didn't get COVID, but all the contact tracing stuff, whatever.
Remember those times?
Oh my
Woo!
gosh, we're not even gonna get into that. But then eventually, um, the guy who was an offensive third baseman, I think, was dealing with a hamstring injury. I was only getting on base by walking and getting hit by pitches, and I finally got a knock. And then eventually from there, once I got hitting a little bit more, I stuck out from there. So moral of the story, and I guess of my Seton Hall career is just similar to yours, like stick with it. Like, and if you see an opportunity like to play, it doesn't really matter what position, like you want to
Doesn't matter.
play. So
Yes.
that was my, I guess, summer at Seton Hall. 'Cause I played third, I played second, I played short. I practice in the outfield. I didn't play outfield,
Yeah.
but just being available is super important. So
A
that's
word that
my
comes to mind. Yeah.
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 A word that comes to mind is adaptation.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah.
And to just be adaptable and be able to play any position, you are going to see more opportunities to be able to be successful. That
Yes.
they the epitome of that. So that's a great story. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, of course, man. Thanks for letting me share that. Appreciate it. That is the
Absolutely.
my Seton Hall experience right there. Yeah. Wouldn't trade for the world.
Good stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
What else we got on the docket here? I'm
Uh,
trying to think of
so
any.
I want to hear, then we'll
Mhm.
get to the banana ball after this. All right.
Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good.
So I want to hear if you had to give me 3 words about your game, what would they be?
Well, I like the adaptable one, but I'm not going to steal that. I'm going to say utility. So like
Okay.
being like playing multiple positions, being available, and this is I'm stealing this from our head coach because like availability is like the best thing like you can have if you're hurt, unfortunately, or if you're I don't want to say if you're not good enough, but if you're good
Yeah.
enough and you're healthy and you can play multiple positions, that's two things that are really important.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I've been hurt a little bit in my career, and I realized the importance of being healthy. So I
Yeah.
sort of describe those two things. And it's probably overused, but just gritty, like
Love it. I
getting
love it.
just I don't know, like the hip. I took getting hit by pitches with a lot of pride because I knew I wasn't gonna hit like a ton of homers, and I knew I wasn't gonna hit for a ton of pop. But I knew who I was as a player more and more as I went on in my career, and I understood that like I needed to get on base. Like that was like my thing. And if I could get on base by getting hit by a pitch, like if it was a two seam guy or like some guy's a little wild, like just get on the dish and wear one. You get all the protective gear in the world. Obviously, don't wear one off the face or the head or anything like that. But Just get
Wow.
on base. Those are my 3 words right there.
These answers need to be played in front of every young player in this country.
Yeah. The
I
players that
mean,
are, yeah, not, I mean, if you got a power bat, go do that. Go
yes,
do that.
but
Yeah.
if you look around and you're not the 6'5" guy that
Yeah.
was absolutely gifted from God to play baseball, like Bryce Harper or Shohei Ohtani,
Yeah.
you have to find your game and
Mhm.
be the best at your game.
Yeah. That's true. I agree with that 100% because every hitter is gonna be slightly different and have slightly different things and should do slightly different things
Yes.
to style their game. But
Be the best
yeah,
you. Just be the
yeah,
best you, man.
yeah.
And you
And
did a
hey,
great job of that.
oh, thank you. I mean, I'm gonna ask you the same question. Can I ask you the same question back? And then I have
Yeah.
another follow-up question after this. So let's
All
hear the
right.
3 words.
All right. So 3 words to describe my game. Now it's going to be tough because I see a lot of myself in you.
Hey, go for if you want to do other ones, go for or the same ones, go for it. But feel free.
Okay. So first one, perseverance.
Give me an explanation for that.
Oh man, I could have quit many times.
Really?
I was ready to hang them up long before I got to pro ball.
Wow.
Not ready to hang them up, but like looking around and being like, is this really what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
Is this really what I'm gonna do? And I stuck with it. And I played high level college ball, got to pro ball, and now I work with kids.
Mm.
In my
Yeah.
book, to be able to spread knowledge to the youth, not only on the baseball field, but I do a lot of like life training with my guys.
That's awesome.
The parents of my guys will tell them about their grades. If they don't get a good grade on their test, their parents will come to me and we'll talk about it. So
Wow.
that is some of the biggest like feather under my cap that I could think of. I'm really blessed to be able to be in that position.
That is awesome. It's
Yeah,
bigger than baseball even now.
yeah,
It's like
that's what
you're
that's what it is. It's bigger than me. It's bigger
yeah.
than baseball, and that's just the wave, you know.
Oh man, the fact that you understand that is incredible. Like you're
Yeah,
helping them like in the baseball's a small area of their life, but like you're
yeah,
helping them. You might be a baseball coach, but you're helping them in
yes.
so many other ways. Yeah.
But I work with these guys and I give them my all every time I work with them and girls too. I work with a bunch of softball players,
Nice.
but I give them my all because baseball has given me so much more than home runs, so much more than double plays. Like
Yeah.
it has given me friends for life
Mm.
all over the country. It has given me my family things to do and bond over. I mean, I can't even really begin to describe what baseball has given me, and I'm not making $1 million.
It's
You
more than
know,
monetary value, man. More than monetary
it's
value. Yeah.
priceless, brother.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Dude,
So if
that's
I can
awesome.
share that with them, that's all I want to
That's awesome. Yeah,
do.
those relationships you develop with those players are again priceless. And the impact you'll have, you may understand it right now, but in the future it will be realized. That is awesome, man.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you.
Let's hear
So
two other words. Two, yeah.
number two. That was one. Dang. So number two. I hate to say it, but I gotta go with smooth. I
You hate
take
to
a lot.
say it, dude. Absolutely say it, man.
Well, we were sentimental, and then I had to switch it up. So I say that because I take a lot of pride in my defense. I love taking ground balls. I know you do too. But
Yep.
when I'm out there playing defense, I'm at home. Like I don't know how to describe that to people, but when you have a craft and you really are so proud of it, it's home to you. Like anything can happen when I'm out in the infield and I know where to be, what to do. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm sure you
Right.
feel the same way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
really good feeling to know exactly what you need to do and be able to express that.
Absolutely. Love it.
Three,
Smooth.
three. Wow. One word.
We can allow two if you need to like blend two together.
And now this is about my playing game. Is that where we're going?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You can
Three pop.
Pop. So that leads right into my second question, because I wasn't able to really like see like 50 games of your career or anything like that. But when I saw that you had 20 jimmies, I mean 20 homers, 20 bombs, like what 20, I was like, wow. Because again, like not for anything, but we're not like the biggest dudes.
No,
And I mean, 20 bombs in college, like that's for I don't want I hate saying
no, a
a
guy
guy
my
like you.
size.
Like I hate saying that, but like
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I need like the bat speed. Like what is that? How does that happen? Like I guess is the easiest way to say
If
it.
I was any bigger, I tell everybody this. If I was any bigger, I wouldn't have made it to the pros.
Any bigger.
Like if I was,
Interesting.
I truly believe that
That's a really interesting take. Why?
my size is I just am so compact. So it's funny. I've always been the smallest guy on my team.
Okay.
Always. And we're talking like college pro ball. These guys are 6'2". Like, you know what I mean? I'm five
Yeah.
seven, 5'8" on a good day. And these guys are like 6'2". And they're like, how are you hitting balls out of the ballpark? And I'm like, okay, I gotta give it to my father. My father is the same size as me, and he taught me about the gym. And
Ah,
I really hit the gym what I think is the right way. You know, nothing. I'm not getting under putting 300 pounds up, but I'm hitting the gym, and I was doing that in college and pro ball. I don't know, and I'm just very rotational. So like I like when pitchers throw, they the more rotational they are, the harder they're going to throw.
yeah.
I just know my body. That's why I say that. I never had many limbs to worry about. Like it's funny, but it's true.
You're yeah.
And I never really like changed. You know, you see a lot of
Uh,
some bigger guys, they grow up fast and then they just got to relearn like
interesting.
where I just know where everything is. I know that my zone's smaller and I know that I'm quick to the ball.
I think the quick to the ball and the bat speed with that, like just how strong you are for your size, and then if you're quick and if you're twitchy, and then if the bat speed's there,
But she's a great one.
that's all you really need,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the homers will go. But
Yeah.
man, that I thought that was so neat, like kind of
Yeah.
seeing that, like man, like, that's I was like put some respect right there on the shorter guys like us. I'm like, let's go,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And like being short, like
yeah.
in
And we
social
don't like
settings.
short guys like us, like I don't know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I
yeah,
know what you mean,
yeah,
but that's how the Lord made me, and that's what I'm
yeah,
gonna go with. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
being this is actually something that I've maybe I don't know if I ever told anybody this, but being like not the biggest guy in like social settings is unique. You know, it's a unique thing. Like it's always like, oh, the bigger guy is like whatever. But in baseball, people would like they used when I was like 13, 14, they used to come in and I hit like I think I hit 40 jacks when I was 13. On the like yes, I broke like the record over at our thing, and they were
Wow.
how are you doing that?
Yeah.
I might not even know. I don't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just what was happening. And I was the last thing I'll say about this at Mercyhurst in the PSAC, which is one of the best D2 conferences in the country. We had guys that were mammoths, like big boys. A lot of them went on to play pro ball from our team, and
Nice.
I was the four hitter.
That's great. I love that.
You
I
know how
love
much
that.
dude? I would walk up to the plate, they'd be like, "What?"
But that probably helped you because the pitcher felt like, who is this guy? And then they throw one in, boom, we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But in a conference like that, they learn quickly. So yeah,
Oh,
that's a
that's
great
awesome.
great great question, man.
I
I
love it.
appreciate you.
I love it. That's
So
awesome.
how did this banana ball journey start for you?
Yes. So, well, this is actually really funny. This goes back to 2022 when I was at Seton Hall. We're doing like media day, photo day, whatever, taking our photos, and they asked like the question, whatever, media day. And I'm in like we had like a turf room, and it's an old racquetball room from like way back when the rec was like our rec center was like reassembled. They made like a turf room for like soccer and baseball guys, and we're doing photos in there, and one of the media people said like, "Hey, you have anything cool we can do?" And it's like, "Yeah, sure." So one of these things I can do is like, I don't even know what it's called, like baseball dribbling. I don't know. I just take the ball and like dribble it between my
I
legs.
see what you do, man. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
I think I got good hands, but I don't even know.
No,
You got some sorcery going on.
I appreciate it, man. I didn't really know how it like really started. Like I don't really know the creative source behind that. It just kind of happened. I just was honestly, I probably the winters in Massachusetts is probably being inside playing wall ball in the basement kind of thing. But anyways, I did that dribbling thing and like tossed the ball towards the camera afterwards.
Yeah.
And the video kind of low key blew up. Like got like over 100,000 views on
Wow.
TikTok. And at that
On
time,
your TikTok or on the schools?
On Seton Halls. I didn't have, I guess a little interesting thing. I didn't have social media besides LinkedIn
Get this man an
until
NIL deal.
after college or until after I graduated, until after I graduated undergrad.
Yeah.
So it kind of blew up on the Seton Hall athletics page. I think it's the most viewed video they have still. I don't know, whatever. But the Savannah Bananas commented on it and it said, "Yo, they said this is dope." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like I didn't know like what the Savannah Bananas like really were, to be
Yeah.
honest, at that
Yeah.
time. And I was like, all right, like that's pretty cool. So, anyways, fast forward to I guess this past summer in like June or so when the Savannah Bananas playing at Fenway Park. Was playing baseball in this local like men's league and getting ready to hopefully play in the draft league the second half. And I hurt my knee, like a patellar tendonitis, but it just took time. It wasn't anything major. It just took time to kind of do its
Yeah.
deal, whatever. But enough to kind of keep me out from playing in this league. And I'm watching the Savannah Banana game with my uncle, my mom, and I think my girlfriend was there too. And we they're all like, "This is something like you could do. Like this is pretty cool." I'm like, "This is pretty cool. I play at Fenway Park. It's awesome." And kind of look into it, and I'm like, "Wait, like." I kind of looked at the application. I went online, looked at the application. My mom pulled
When
it up
was
for me.
this? When was this?
This is like June. This is like
Okay.
and I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. So I start like in my notes, like I start like filing stuff together, like stuff like I put together like on this application. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty neat. It seems awesome. It's about the fans. The fans are for like, and this I love summer ball. I always love summer ball. On a little side note, because the fans are always there and they always want like
I know it's a
it's for them. The summer ball is for the fans, in my opinion. And Savannah Banana baseball is for the fans. So I'm like, this is like pretty cool. Like you're playing baseball, but it's fans first. It's really entertaining, all that stuff. So I kind of like put together like my application and I don't like submit or anything. I'm sure like I want to make it really, really good. So then fast forward, I don't even know the date, but it's as if the universe heard like what was going on. Barry reached out to me through Instagram DM and said, "Hey man, like we're looking for like players for next year. Let's hop on the phone and talk kind of thing." And I was like, wow, that's so random. Like, how in the world did like did he find me and like all this stuff? And we hopped in the phone and he told us like he told me like what the deal was with Savannah Ball and he told me all about it. It seemed awesome. I was like, wow, like that's pretty cool. And he's like, all right, so well, what you'll have to do is you'll fill out the application and then we'll invite you to the tryout. And I was like, wow, like that seems awesome. And I'm like, oh, all right, like cool, I'll do that. I'm like, but Bear, like I gotta ask, like, how in the world like you getting like I wasn't on like I had two posts on Instagram and I was very inactive on it. Like, how did you find me? Like, what's like the deal? And this is, I guess, like it's like a little more bragging moment, whatever. But he's like, you were the hardest hitter to strike out in college baseball this year, and I want more guys to put the ball in play. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't know that he had like looked into that stuff, whatever. I had a buddy that told me like I was up there like in the top five or whatever during the season. I'm like, ah, that's pretty cool, like whatever. But like that's how he got in touch with me. And I always joke, I was like, well, he wanted me because I put the ball in play, and then eventually I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna hit on unicycle, and then like kind of just go from there. But that's like the starter story, and then like obviously I submitted the application, and I guess for anyone um listening to this, and for future hopefully people that do the thing in the future, Jesse says like to stand out, like stop standing still and stand out. I think that's what he says. And I'm like, okay, like I need to make this application stand out. So instead of filling out the application, I took the application and made a whole Google Sites, like with photos and videos and all this stuff. And I was like, I took all the application questions, put them on the Google Sites, put like photos, like people through photos of interactions I've had, like through summer ball and college and everything. And I said, like, okay, like here's my application. So I just put the link on the application, obviously copied over my questions and everything. But like I wanted to stand out. I wanted to see like if they like really like I have no idea if they like got that or whatever, but I hope they did.
Yes. Yes.
And that's how I got started. So I think for the application part, I would recommend people do something to stand out like that. It's like with an application. So that's my story
That's great.
with this fan bananas. Let's hear yours. I'm really curious.
So I'm a little bit older than you. So I have been jumping around the country, going to free agent workouts, Frontier League draft, but doing this, talking to coaches,
Yeah.
like indie ball.
Right.
And it came to a point where I looked in the mirror and I said, you know, I love baseball, but I'm not going to be a big leaguer. I always thought I was good enough, you know, but it's just the way life happens. So then I went and coached. I coached a college team, and I really loved that experience. And I wanted to start getting in the world of working and, you know, start to have my own things and do all that kind of stuff. So then I went to the Savannah Bananas versus the Firefighters in Buffalo.
Oh, right.
And I actually was able to interview the players on the field before the game from the interviews that me and my friend Jonathan do on the Moneyball channel.
Oh, wow.
So when I was out there interviewing the players, I was asking them questions because I'm a baseball guy. You know, like I know what's going on. Like I'm not just a reporter. Like, hey, are you liking Buffalo? Like,
yeah.
So I was asking these guys questions, and they were looking at me like, "That's a good question." Like, so I was like, "All right," like I got along with all, like, and the coaches and everything, like whatever. I went up to them, all the coaches that I met at the game, and I was like, "Do you remember me?" Like I was doing an interview. Oh my goodness, crazy. So, I was with my girlfriend and my friend, and they were like, "You need to be honest. You're not afraid to dance. You're not afraid to. You're good at baseball.
Agreed.
Like,
Agreed.
And that was in their opinion. I was like, you know what? Like, you might be right. And I stayed and I watched the game against the Firefighters Bananas. And I don't think I've ever had more fun watching baseball in my entire life than watching that game. I get home, I put in my application.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, I took a little bit different approach to the application. I filled it out, double checked it, whatever, and tried to display my creativity and my game to them. You know,
right.
I actually made a 6-minute audition video that I edited myself.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah. I'll even send it to you. I'd like to send it to you.
Yeah. Please.
I will after this, and then so we get to the part where it's put in a 20-second or so audition video, try to send it in. I put the link of that YouTube video with my audition and behind it. So I just needed something to get them to watch that video.
Sure.
I wanted to point them to that video.
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
And I was in my car and I was like, it's actually a super funny story, man. So I was like, hey, my name is Troy Banks. Like, I feel like I'd be a perfect fit for the Savannah Bananas for blank, blank, blank. And I would love nothing more on whatever, something along those lines.
Right.
Click, didn't send. Too big, file too big.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I probably had to record that video 15 times. And by the end of it, this is how it sounded. Ready? Hi, my name is Troy Banks. I just blurted out, boom. And I did that. And I sent it off. And I guess they liked it. So
who got in touch with you afterwards?
Good question. So it was a little less it was very different than you, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took about 3 months for me to get it. I was like, oh, like I didn't really know how it worked. I didn't know who's gonna reach out. I didn't know anything.
Right.
And I refresh my email every morning. And I'm laying over in bed. I refresh it. And it's important banana ball invite. And I was like, let's go, dude.
Wow.
Super. Like I was super invested in it. Still am. And was just super excited to see that email from Barry. And then I looked at all the dates. And I was like, well, Philly's the closest one. So 6 hours away, man. Got to do it. Did it.
That wow. So you waited for like a couple months,
I want to
no?
say 2.5 months. Yeah.
And then you just saw the email one morning. Oh, what a great
Yeah.
feeling that must have
I
been.
know, man. I know. It's
Oh
just,
my gosh.
and I didn't know it was as exclusive. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that same here. Yeah.
Like I thought because I've been to tryouts. There's 140 guys there
That's crazy for a
at
song.
the tryout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just very unique and appealing that the bananas are looking for a certain person. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And it makes it so like if they know what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but you just have to be yourself.
Uh that's I
So
think yeah.
if you don't make it, you were yourself, and it's all good.
Yeah, you can hang your hat on that.
Not
Yeah.
because anybody that was there was not about being. Everyone was a good baseball player. You saw it
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's like how can you do something to stand out? That's a great point.
Yeah. And I'll add on it's also it's being yourself. It's also, and you already mentioned it, how willing are you to get outside your comfort zone?
Yeah.
I think because that's like I think that's a teachable skill. Like if you're willing to like just go all in on the kick line dance, if you're willing to go all in on the 3-2-2, if you're willing to do those things, and even if you look like a total goofball, like they know that's like okay, they're willing to like go all in on that. And like there's definitely other goofier things that like they're gonna like have to do or not
Head on, baby.
get to do. So like it's a teachable skill. Like I think that's like a
Yeah.
if you display that early on that you're just open and willing to do that, like I think that's something they really want. I think Barry even said that on the email. So I'm probably just reiterating what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think you just nailed it on the head. Be yourself and then just be willing to be uncomfortable and just put yourself out there.
That goes
Yeah.
with all aspects of life too. Where
Yeah.
there's a
Oh,
lot of uncomfortable things you got to do.
100%. And I think it's funny. You could probably make some poetic comparison to how Banana Ball is like to life. Like, I mean, the story of I read a couple of Jesse's books. Like, the story of the Savannah Bananas is ridiculous.
I know it's
Like,
so awesome.
because they did stuff so counterintuitive to what the normal way of was doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing, like where you can go probably like in life, like if you don't have to
Yeah.
follow the exact same path as everyone else and get the exact same results, like
Create
you can
your
do
own.
something else.
That's what
Yeah,
they did. And it's
yeah, yeah,
so it's like unspeakably awesome.
yeah, it really is.
Own sport. You
Yeah,
saw how much they're expanding, all the places they're going. It's like it only happens when special things are formed. It's
right.
unreal.
Yeah, yeah.
Super, super awesome. It was great to meet everybody at the tryout. I mean, everybody was there, like coaches, owner, media team. I mean, I've never seen a group of people with the same goal
right.
that were so well expressed. It was just awesome to see.
I have to ask a question on this, and I guess I mean you don't have to go too in depth and all that. But what was your favorite part of the tryout besides like the actual baseball part of Banana Ball?
Oh, dude, I could say a bunch of things, man. I could say a bunch of things, but I'm gonna have to go with the icebreaker, baby. Wait, the hey, baby. When we all had to do that, it was like boom, right into the fire. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought that was great too.
Yeah. What about you?
I definitely liked the interview portion of it
Yeah.
during. So do you know how you had the BP, you had two group shag and BP in the interview? I really liked that a lot because not that it like put you on the spot, but it was a little different. Like, I mean, who's being interviewed at a baseball or a workout, a baseball workout style workout. And I liked that because I felt like I just had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun throughout the entire tryout, obviously.
Yeah,
But with the media team, I had a blast because
they were
I
super
mean,
cool.
I did the interview like all like well like on the unicycle, and I think it was Sam was his name. I might be blanking on his name,
Yeah,
but he just like he was just laughing and I'm laughing and
I
like
know it
because like
was.
he can't take it serious because like
Yeah, they were
I'm
having a
on
great
the
time.
unicycle. So I
Yeah,
had a great I that was my most fun
yeah.
time.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
One of the questions that he asked me, I'm
Oh
sure he
sure.
asked you, where do you see yourself in Banana Ball if you are to get picked?
Hmm. I might let's see. I was so in the moment. I actually kind
You
of
don't
forget what
have
I
to give
said.
me verbatim.
Yeah. Um. I'm trying really hard to remember what I actually said, just in case it pops up and I say something completely different.
He didn't
But
say
yeah, he didn't say that at all. Um,
that.
with banana, oh, I kind of do remember my answer. So within Banana Bowl, I thought it was so cool, and I already kind of touched upon this that it's about the fans. Obviously, it's like a baseball game, it's entertainment, but it's about the fans. It's about interacting with them. It's for them. And I always thought summer ball was really cool because like it's more for the fans.
Yeah,
And I love that part. I love like, I mean, what player doesn't want to give autographs like to fans? And what player doesn't want to like hang out with the kids and make them feel like they're like that you're a big leaguer and that like they're interacting with them kind of thing. And I felt like Banana Ball offered that like times a million. And if
that's
that's really what it's all about, like I want all in with that. And I think within the actual organization, like man, it would be great to be able to be a player, but even like at some point down the line, like at least for that culture and what they're all about, I would love to just work in that environment. It seems awesome.
yeah. You have the same outlook on that as me. Like it's
Yeah,
something I want to be a part of.
right.
Plain and simple. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's bigger than us. It's bigger than, and they would say the same. I'm sure it's bigger than that. You know what I
right.
mean? They're
Yeah,
doing it for the fans. And when people walk into those gates, go to a game, they will leave. Their day will have been made. They'll be
right.
thinking about it. They'll be talking about it. It's any time in life you get to just sit back and enjoy yourself is time well spent. And the Bananas do a fantastic job of implementing those ideas.
100% agreed. And it's so unique and the following that they have in terms of the support from so many people is incredible. Like so
Yeah,
cool. And the fact that they're growing and just in terms of like the culture of like the organization, like they're encouraged to create ideas, they're encouraged to act, they're empowered to like act on these ideas. And how freeing is that? Like if you
yeah,
have 10 ideas and like eight of them don't work or nine of them don't work, but one of them does, like it gives you all the confidence in the world, like not to fail because they
yeah,
like kind of, I don't want to say failed their way to success, but in some ways
yeah,
that's what it was, at least from what it sounds like from all our like from the books and all that. Like,
yeah.
and that's a super freeing thing. You're not like kind of walking on eggshells, hopefully you don't do anything wrong and you get there and all that. Like they made their own way. They made their own way. And that's super cool. And to be a part of that, I think would be awesome as you just said. So 100% agreed.
A lot of sporting events. So I was at the Bananas game, and just to
Right.
tell you this,
Yeah. I've
a
never
lot of
been,
sporting,
so
yeah, a lot of the sporting events are like, look at me, like the Yankees. Go to a Yankees game, it's all about the Yankees. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You go to a Bananas game, it is look at you mentality. It's like
Wow, I love that.
it was wild. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like how it made people around me feel. Me, I'm a baseball player. I'm in the stands, like having a blast. And it was so interactive, and they put, oh my goodness, one of my favorite. I was with my girlfriend. She loved this part too. They put a little girl up on the mound, and they played "Call on Me," which is like a dance song, and any
Okay.
dance she did, the whole stadium did. So she was hitting you with this, and you would see 18,000 people doing the same thing. I mean, there's nothing in the world that's like it.
That's great. That is so cool. Like all these ideas, like of different things in the game, and they're always different. or not always, like there's some things that are the same, but there's always like different unique things every time you go to a game. That's what keeps it fresh and keeps it entertaining, keeps it new, and keeps it growing.
I
Like
know.
I think it's incredible. It is a really unique thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
that I love that. That's great. Any other stories? Like I gotta hear like banana ball stories or um coaching stories. I know you coach now. If you want to talk more about coaching, I don't mean to switch the topic off banana
No,
ball.
you're good,
But
man. You're
if
good.
what's I would love to hear
Oh,
more stories, man, that kind of that are you, man. I think that'd be really cool.
oh man. Oh
I can
Jesus.
get what's all right. I'll guide you more. I just gave you a very loaded question. Tell
No,
me a story.
yeah, oh,
I
yeah,
tell
there's
me.
so many.
Yeah, what's okay, so I think I said before, like tell me like a story that was involved. Was it college? I think I said that, like a college story.
Yeah.
But let's go now. Tell me a story. Okay, tell me a really good story that involved pro ball. So I know you talked about how you played shortstop, but was there any other stories within the pro ball experience that you may have learned from other people from their like life journey? Like what any any pro ball related story? Let's hear it.
That's
Because I think I
great.
don't have that experience. Like I don't have that pro ball experience and meeting other dudes from around the country, maybe even out of the country that play on a pro ball team. I had it for the college level, but I would love to hear something like that.
So great question. Um, I do want to tell you a quick story, and then I also want to touch on that question
Go for it,
more.
100%. Yeah.
And yes, so the first one was my first pro game.
Okay.
I didn't know what to expect. It was in Williamsport where they played a big league game.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever watched the big league, like when the Little League World Series is going on, they play a big league game at this Williamsport field.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
The
that's
Yankees,
Yankees did
the
that. That's
Yankees,
right. That's
yes,
right. Okay. Yeah.
that was where my first pro game was,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Bro, dream come true. Dream come true. So my dad's like, I'm coming. We're coming to this game.
Yeah.
Just my dad. He was the only one in my party that was at the game. My
Okay.
dad. And he gets to the field. He's the first one there. We get there like 3-4 hours early. He was there like 2.5-3 hours early.
Oh, your dad's a baseball guy. He's a
Yeah,
baseball dude.
he was just as excited as me. And I
Yeah.
went up to him and I talked to him. I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am so nervous. And whatever happens, because I know this place is gonna be filled up with people. You're
Right.
used to watching me at school ball where it's freezing cold and nobody's there. And this is like summer ball on steroids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I went up to him and I said, whatever happens, don't make fun of me. I'll never forget
I
that.
don't.
Just like, and it came from a place of like, I'm gonna give it my all, but I can't promise I'm gonna embarrass. Because when you play in front of a lot of people, man, there's a whole other element to like your game.
Right.
You're making sure that your shoes are freaking tied to just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. So whatever. So he's sitting right behind the plate during the game,
Hmm.
and they put me at third. I haven't played third in years. Third. I'm like, okay, whatever. Right into the fire, baby. I don't care. So the second ball I was hitting the game, it was a lefty up. I got to hit my first pro at bat. My dad is in the actual game footage with his camera up. That's super funny. Maybe I'll
Love
edit
that.
that in here.
Yeah.
But the second ball hits me. I played off the bag at third, and there was a lefty, and he
Okay.
sprayed a ball. This is one of the craziest. This is one of my best baseball stories. This was like a movie. So he sprayed a ball right down the line, right? So I dive down the line, completely like peak range of mine.
Okay.
If the ball was hit an inch further down the line, I wasn't getting it.
It's a double. Yep.
Yeah, and I'll put this video in here too. So I dive and I got it. And I heard, I think there was like 6,000 people there. I heard in unison, and it was like a movie, like time stopped. I could have stood up and like looked around. You know how like in a movie,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not a part of time anymore?
Right.
That's how it felt. And then I like snapped back into it and made a throw steed on the money.
That's awesome.
My first pro game, I was like, no way. That
You're
just
like,
happened.
welcome to it. I'm here.
I'm here, dude. Crazy story, man.
That's awesome.
But we one of my teammates was on your team. You know him very well.
Is this Hunter Wallace?
Hunter Wallace. He's my boy.
Yes, yes, that's awesome.
So,
Tell me a good Hunter Wallace story, maybe that you
oh
or
my goodness.
there's
So
probably plenty of them, but he's
no,
an
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
dude. Awesome dude.
So I remember we talked a lot. He used to shag. He was a big shagger. He liked
Yeah.
shag.
Oh, he always wanted me involved. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was we stayed at Rider University, and there was this fox that would come up to
Oh
our dorm,
shit.
and somebody must have fed him this summer because they were the only ones on this college campus. So there's this fox. Every night we would sit out there pretty much. Not like every night, but like a lot of nights. There was this fox. We called him Smokey. And we would throw him food and he would just hang out. A fox.
Oh my god.
Like think about summer ball on steroids, man.
Hunter is feeding Wallace is feeding the fox.
Yes, he was feeding the fox.
We
Yes,
might have to cut this.
he will remember.
We might have to cut out this part of the. No shit. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. It's super funny, but that's just
Oh,
on baseball stuff.
yeah. I love the stories like that, like the summer
Ooh,
ball
smoke.
stories. Oh man, like
Yeah.
those are just like they're so unique to everyone, and the more people you talk to, like the better the stories get, kind of thing. And stories overlap. Like, oh, it's awesome.
I want to hear not your best college memory, but your best summer ball. Not even your
Best.
best. A good
Oh,
summer ball story that really displays what summer ball is. I'm talking hanging with the guys, just being a dude. Like, what do you think?
all right. I'll go to a more sentimental route. Actually, okay. I'll go two sentimental route, and then I'll go an actual summer ball memory. So, well, you want okay, so not baseball related, just with the guys.
I want whatever you got.
Okay. Well, the first one I thought of was when I played in the NECBL and we're going up to Keene. And I remember it was like we were driving up and we got there or whatever. And I think actually I think I drove that game for some reason up because you could take the bus so you can drive. I
Yeah.
don't remember. So like I'm up at the field early with a few other guys that drove, and then the guys were on the bus and it's like raining. So we're all in it. So the Keene guys are in the dugout. We're in our away dugout there at Keene. And the
Yeah.
game, like the field's not looking in great shape. Like we don't know if we're gonna play or not. And I forget what happened, but in classic baseball style, like someone threw a baseball over to the Keene dugout and was like, "You want to come and play Mafia over here?" So the Keene guys came over to our dugout and like someone was narrating, and we had like the North Shore Navigators and the Keene Swamp Bats playing Mafia decked into the dugout. And it's like just a funny thing. Like that's like,
That's
I mean,
core memory, man.
and then we went and played a game afterwards for stuff. So
That's
like
core stuff.
that's
That's great.
a good memory there. But this is what like summer ball is to me. So we're up in Sanford, Maine. This is a away game for the North Shore Navigators, team I played for. And I actually don't know why I did this, but there must have not been a trash barrel in the dugout. But I had like some wrist tape or something I needed to throw out. And I went outside of the gate where there's a trash can, like right by like the metal bleachers right outside the dugout. And I went to go throw the trash away, and there was a little girl in the stroller. She was like on an iPad, whatever, and she looked up to me. And I just reached out and like I go to give her a fist bump, and she kind of looks at me like kind of like hesitant. Because like first off, I'm an opposing player, like the enemy. Like, what am I doing? So, but second off, she's like, who's this like dude that I don't know? Give me a fist bump, like stranger danger. Like, here we go. And anyways, her dad was with her. Her dad's like, Molly, you want to go like give him a fist bump, and like give her a fist bump, and she gives me a fist bump, and then like I walk away, go back to the game. Had a good game. I think we won the game, and after the game, um, we go back home, but then we go back up to Sanford the next time, and I'm playing there like for I don't remember if we won or lost, whatever, but I think it was a day game because then the dad went up to my coach and said, "Hey, where is number one at?" That was the number I wore, or number 10, whatever it was at Summer Bowl. Where is number one at? And he goes, "I need to find him. Like he's a like it meant the world to my daughter for the fist bump." And he didn't like understand. He didn't say it just like that, but I remember overhearing like I need to find number one. And then he like turned around like to look for me, and I was actually right there, so I heard that. And he goes, "Man, like his name is Scott." and I hope he's okay. I'm sharing the story, but he goes like, that meant the absolute world to like give my daughter a fist bump. And some people just like kind of look at her and walk by. And I then like went over, like Scott pulled me over to where Molly is a daughter, and then Shelby were her mother, and I just got to talk with them, like the enemy, the opposing like team, but obviously it's a lot bigger than that, and just got to talk to them for a while. Like they're a host family for Sanford. They've been doing it for years. It's a really cool community up there. It's really, really special. And since then, almost once a summer, I go out for lobster dinner up in we kind of like meet from Maine, Massachusetts, and we meet in New Hampshire from there. And Molly comes out and we just have we just talk, and it's nothing like crazy or anything like that.
Wow.
But that is what summer ball is, because it's the fan. It's like that experience meant the absolute world to her. And it took such little effort for me just to reach out and give her a fist bump, and that created this relationship which we have today. I have their numbers. We keep in touch every once in a while and stuff like that. But like it was pretty cool.
That is
That's
a
what summer ball is to me.
great story, man.
Yeah, and I don't think I've shared that like on a platform like this before. So this is pretty unique. Yeah.
First off, that just shows you that you can by just being a good person, man,
Mm,
you have no idea what can happen. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That is
absolutely.
that is fantastic. And
Yeah.
then for you guys to stay in touch,
Yeah. And
that
like
is
it it's not like I know that's what it's bigger than baseball. Like that's
yeah,
what it is. And it means you have no idea the impact you can have. And like yourself, like on the player you're coaching, you have no idea the impact you're gonna have. Like no idea. And I mean not you might not ever know. But like that I was really lucky in that I got to understand the impact I had on one individual
yeah.
like in a very short amount of time.
Wow.
And
Thank
yeah,
you for saying that, man.
yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, thanks for just letting me share that, because I think that's what summer ball is about, like moments like that. And especially when you go out to places where you need host families. Like I'm sure a lot of summer teams have host families, but the host family community in Sanford was very close, from what I could tell at least. And it was pretty cool. 'Cause all the parents are there and all the games supporting the players and everything. Um, so yeah, that's summer ball. It's again, it's summer ball about the fans too. Like that's it. It's not just banana ball.
Absolutely.
So, but anyways,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I actually can't get over that story. To be honest with you,
Oh, I'm glad I got to share it with you, man.
yeah,
That's you're
that's
hearing it first, at least. You're hearing
yeah,
it first. Yeah.
and you realize that you don't have to be in the big leagues. You
Yeah.
just got to be living, you know,
Yeah.
and doing that little gesture. It did obviously mean the world to her, and
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
but but it happens. Like you said, you're lucky that you got to see the fruits of that
Right.
relationship building,
Yeah.
but do it anyway because they might go home and say, "Wow, Dad, I'll never forget number one."
Right. Right.
Because I'll never forget when Robinson Cano threw me a ball at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, there you go.
I had to be 7 or 8 years old, and it's clear as day, like it happened yesterday.
Ooh, that's awesome.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess I'll put the cherry on top on the story. Like we went when they came to North Shore Navigators came. Oh, actually, no, I have the story wrong. My second time, I was it was in Sanford when we went up there. I was able to give her a North Shore Navigator hat, like the opposing like team hat, and reluctantly probably wearing it, but like in spite of all that, just because like
She'll put it in her.
so she put it on, she was able to wear it. But I'll have to tell. I'll make sure it's all right. But I'll have to ask and make sure that for Molly, Shelby, and Scott's case,
Awesome.
it's okay to tell the story. But that story means the world to me now because of how much I understand the impact they can have on other people. And that's not cheesy. It's not anything like that.
No,
That's just real. And that's
100%.
that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, man.
100%.
But
Well, dude, it has been absolutely fantastic
yeah, I'm not
talking.
sure how long we talked. Probably like an hour and a half. I have no idea how
Hey,
long we
who
talking, man.
cares? Anybody that has stayed this long, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate it. I had the pleasure for talking to a great guy today, man. It's an honor to meet you, and I know that you have great values and you understand you got the it factor, buddy, and I'm
Ah,
very glad to meet you.
likewise, man. It was it's funny how stuff happens and the people that you meet, but to be able to really meet you first or one of the first guys meeting that dugout and just kind of hitting off like we did, playing catch, doing different trick plays right away and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
dude, just for the
So
love of the game, man.
yeah, so even if this bandball thing works out great, but even if it doesn't work out, to be able to have our relationship like this and where I know having again like similar values and loving baseball and loving, I guess, just building relationships with other people, I think that's gonna be something that we can kind of share together and we can continue to grow. So
Love it, man. I'm all in.
that's great. That's
And
great.
if
I
you
think.
stay this long, please comment fans first.
Oh, hey,
We'll
that
see.
those are the real ones right there.
Yes.
Those are the real ones.
Oh, my
Love it,
man.
man. You're the best. All right.
Take
Well,
care.
I
God
think
bless.
we'll call it here. Boom.
Yep. Later.
All right. So I'll pause the recording. Or
Yeah.
actually, no, I want to stop.